Welcome to Season 2 of the Biz Show, sponsored by InvestQuire. And now, your hosts, Barry and Lisa.
Hi, good morning, Barry. How are you?
Good morning, Lisa. How are you?
A beautiful morning, like Mr. Rogers would say. A
Well, down there where you are, yes. Up here in the mountains, yeah.
lot of overcast and fog today.
Yeah, it's not as bright as it normally would be. A lot of we're in the clouds a lot. I guess I'm always in the clouds, right?
Oh, I don't think so. I think I'm more of in the cloud type of a brain than you are. You're a little bit more detailed and focused. My mind is always in the clouds.
It is. Uh,
Not always. But anyway, you know what I mean. Jelly
I,
bean.
I do. I do. Well, listen, we want to welcome everybody to the Biz Show. This is season 2, episode, I think 12,
13?
13. Yeah, something like that. Um, and this is a podcast about business, right? So today we're going to talk about something everybody struggles with. You struggle with it. I struggle with it. Everybody I know struggles with it, and it is time management.
Yes, I mean, there's only so much time in the day. I always say, I wish I can clone myself because then I would get so much more done.
I agree. I don't know about you, but there's only 24 hours in my day.
I know. And the business of being self-employed and running a company is definitely a 25-hour job per day.
Yeah, or more. And we both said this many, many times here in the podcast that once you start a business, you wear so many different hats, right? Yes, you're the business owner, the CEO, but you're also the cashier, or you're also the inventory taker, and you're also payroll, and you're also the janitor.
Yes, I met with an attorney once and he said, "Oh, okay, so you're in real estate." And I said, "Yes." He goes, "Wow." He goes, "Have you ever looked at the amount of hours that you work and then divide it by your paycheck?" Or um, I said, "No, I haven't." He goes, "Well, you really only make pennies. You think you're going to make some big money in real estate, but you're only making pennies on the dollar."
Oh man.
I was like, wow, that was an eye opener, depressing conversation. I said, maybe I chose the wrong career. I was like,
I don't think it's only that career, but I think you're right. I mean, the sense if you take all the hours that you work, you know, you don't really get, okay, let's just say you're making minimum wage somewhere and you work for 20 hours or $20 an hour. But you and I both know you do some work after hours or whatever the case might be. So yeah, I think you're on the right track there.
I mean, the technology, computers, emailing capability, all of the stuff that we have now has definitely made any 8 to 5 job, even if you don't own your own company, more than an 8 hour day, because I think people do take it home or they get it on their phone. I just received an email yesterday from a lady in my corporate, and I would have never thought I would have got a response, but I did. It was a Saturday and she responded. So it just goes to show me that people are working on their off time.
Yes, definitely. You know, the number one concept to basically understanding time management is to know this, right? 80% of your results and your revenue only come from 20% of your efforts or your customers.
That's right. So you
Right?
want to be working hard and focused and intentional that 20% of the time. And when you're in a commission only position, it should be focused on lead generation.
Yeah, that's just it. Every position kind of has a different strategy, right? And when you first start a position, you don't know where you need to spend your time. But as you get into that business and you get to grow with it and understand it better, then you can start fine tuning and focusing your time management to the things that really matter. Yes, the other stuff has to get done, but you don't have to spend as much time doing those things as you really should focus on that 20%.
So in coaching, Barry, we talk to a lot of people about creating a profitable business and seeing the numbers that they want to realize at the end of the year. But we really want to focus on creating a calendar and time blocking every segment of your duties so that you can clearly see at the beginning of the week what it is that you're focusing on and having time allotted for each of those tasks. That is so important.
I absolutely agree. I personally schedule out my day, and I actually have, I might put in an hour or 2 hours to learning, right? I'm going to learn something. Like right now, we're working on a website and I'm learning IDX. So I'm spending 2 hours a day, maybe three or four sometimes, just drilling down on this, what it is. But then there's
IDX
other
specialist.
things. Yeah. By the time I'm done, I think I could teach it.
Teach a class. Oh my gosh. Well, you love to teach, so that'll come in handy for a lot of folks that are doing websites.
Yeah, you know me well.
But yeah, time blocking education, even time blocking your personal life. So people always say, oh my gosh, I don't have time to go to the gym. If you write it down, put it in your calendar, you time block it, and then having integrity with your own word and staying committed to the schedule that you created is really key. And a lot of people do need productivity coaches and life coaches to help you stay accountable. So by all means, reach out to me and Barry or hire somebody that you may have come across because accountability is a huge part of that. I mean, even coming home after work to dinner with your family or kids or spouse, they say, how was your day? And then you're, feeling like you came up short because you know internally that you haven't stayed committed to your schedule that you promised yourself that you would do, that you took the time to create, you put it in your phone or you put it on your master calendar or whatnot. I mean, time blocking, going to the gym, a dinner with your wife, there's an important event that she wants you to go to. Those are all things that should go in the calendar first, your family life, your health, your fitness. And then all the business stuff should come second. Because if you are of sound mind and body, then you're going to be able to perform to your highest potential at work. So definitely time block your personals first, your personal life, your family life, and then time block all of your business duties and tasks.
You said two things that resonated with me. Number one, if you're of sound mind and body, who is? That said, the thing that really resonated with me is you said integrity to your schedule. And how easy is for that to slip as you say, oh, okay, I'm not going to get that today, so I'm going to push that to tomorrow.
I
And
know.
and then you push it to tomorrow, and then you push it to the next day, and then the next day. Before you know it, it's not even on your list anymore.
Exactly. You're like, oh, you ignored it so well that you just leave it out altogether.
you know, there's a
Yeah.
there's a technique that I use, and I've used it for a long, long time, and that's called the Pomodoro technique. And basically, that is you work in 25 minute intervals, and then you take a 5 or 10 minute break. Just step away for 10 minutes or 5 minutes just to kind of clear what's going on and then jump back in. And, I find that very, very intuitive for me because I clear some of the cobwebs out and the dust that I have from what I was working on just a few minutes ago to refocus and pinpoint the things I need to do. It's a good technique, and really the history of that thing, it's been around for a very, very long time. It was actually created by an Italian student way back in the early, I think, well, I should say way early, but in the 70s or something like that.
Italians are very smart. Absolutely.
And we have one on the line, don't we?
Oh, yes.
I just looked it up.
Yeah.
It was invented by Francisco Cirillo. So
Okay. Well, if you look at the word, the Pomodoro, that's an Italian word. So
that
there
that
you
kind of
go.
gives it away, right?
Yes, so that's very helpful, Barry. I totally agree with you because, if you are a computer person or a desk person, then sitting in front of the blue light of your computer can just like kind of zap all the cells in your mind and your skin and everything and your eyeballs. So definitely stepping away from the machinery or the computer or whatever it is that you're focused on for hours a day is so helpful to your body and also to your mental capacity to continue to plug forward until, it's quitting time at the end of the day. Yeah, so taking a walk. I had a boss in an office in Walnut Creek, and he would purposefully walk like the entire city blocks for like an hour. And he would just walk by himself with his bottle of water and get out of the office. Because then he felt like he became more useful when he came back to the office. His mind was cleared. He felt more energized. Because sitting in a chair all day, oh my gosh, it's bad for your body and bad for your posture and everything. And then you're not probably being as efficient, right? So that's such a great, helpful tip. So it's called the Pomodoro technique. It sounds
Yeah.
like an Italian dish, but it's called it's staying in your job, for 25 minutes. If you're focused on a high level, then, step away for 5 minutes, walk to the water cooler, take a walk outside.
And
Get
that's the whole concept to help you stay focused at a very high level.
Yeah, prevent that burnout.
Well, I see so many, and you do, I know we both do, entrepreneurs who burned out because, they're burning the candle at both ends and they're trying to do everything. That's not sustainable. Yeah, you can start it out doing it that way in the beginning, but it's going to get really, really old fast.
That is so true. So we're here to help you.
We are. So a couple
Here's some
tips.
tips.
Yes.
Jinx.
Well, set clear goals, right? That's one of them. And I haven't lately, and I should get back into the habit of doing it because again, it fell off my schedule. But I used to sit down and I used to write my schedule out. Now I use a calendar. I use Evernote,
Oh, okay.
and
Mm-hmm.
and I normally have my schedule plan, and I integrate that with my Google Calendar for appointments and stuff like that. And
Yep.
so that really helps me plan. I know, if I got meetings with clients, meetings with you, meetings with doctors, or I'm out doing whatever I'm doing, it's in my calendar.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, setting the goal is the first step and then from there you need to work backwards. How many tasks or hours will it take to accomplish that goal, and where are you going to plug it in your calendar? So using some of those apps and programs might help you come up with the amount of time that you need to invest to get to your finish line, get to the goal. So yeah, there's lots of different helpful apps that may help remind you. I know some people put it in their phone, but they never even look at the calendar on their phone. So setting like a little alarm, with each,
That's what I do. I set alarms.
yeah, that's really helpful for me too, because I have missed an appointment or two, or I actually showed up on the wrong day. Gosh.
My wife Tammy, she laughs at me sometimes, right? Because she's like, "Hey, remind me to do this," and I'm in my Google Calendar putting in a reminder for me to remind her.
Oh, really? That is so cute. Oh, I love that.
you
Well,
know,
that's definitely a helpful partner or spouse. I think that's important. I'll ask a friend sometimes, please remind me to do this because I know that for some reason I have a block with a specific thing. I'm like, please help me because I do not want to forget this again.
you've done that with me.
But
You've asked me to remind you about something, and I put it in my calendar to remind me to remind you.
I think we all have people like that in our life. We just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, but
Oh
one of
gosh, yeah, go on. Go ahead.
what's the next one?
Oh man, this is a tough one. I'm doing it a lot more lately. And
I'm
then
not. That's my big problem.
it's our
I
cancer trait, Barry. It's because we're both cancers. Our astrological sign, we are people pleasers. We want to do everything. We love people. We love to be helpful. And so that's why we have a difficult time with saying no. We want to do it all.
and that's what the topic. This one is learn how to say no, and I'm very bad at it. And it's thing I know it, and I always try to say, look, I got to say no. I got to say no, but then I can't.
I
It's
know. But if
just
you do say no, then it actually allows you to focus on the things that are going to be producing the results that you want. So you can't do it all. I mean, we're only one person. So sometimes it's helpful to say no and just to stay committed and stay on task. And
well,
that's a
yes,
lot of
yes,
self-discipline because, we want to be there for others. And if you have that nature to pay it forward, then then you're like losing time to be able to finish the things that are important to you. And so then you come up short at the end of the day. At the end of the day.
yeah. There you go. For me, it's about fulfilling my life, right? And I want to stuff as much into my life as I possibly can.
Yes.
And so that's why it becomes hard to say no, is because I want the challenge, I want the adventure or whatever it's going to be. But it nips me in the butt a lot of times too, because I don't get accomplished what I need to get accomplished.
Well, you can always use me as your accountability partner.
There you go. I'm going to have everybody go through Lisa before they get to me. You're my gatekeeper now, right?
I'll let you know if Barry can say yes.
Here's, the next one I'm actually really, really good at, and that's
Yes,
minimizing distractions.
right.
Right.
You've even told me I'm not coming to the office today because you are too distracting.
I love you to death and I love the team to death, but right now with the everything and the programming and developing and code writing, it's just too distracting to have all of that uh, emotion going on, right? And I say emotion, but there's the excitement and people, and I love talking to people. So what happens is I know I'm going to be walking around the office engaged in conversation with people when I really need to be with my head buried down in writing code.
Right, exactly. And I think COVID kind of became helpful. The silver lining, another one, was that people were starting to work from home and realizing they're becoming much more efficient because they did not have the distraction of an office workspace, right?
Right.
So I guess learning more about yourself in that COVID process or whatever process is helpful to you to understand that, hey, today I have a serious obligation to finish this project and I'm going to go sit in, a Starbucks or sit somewhere that is helpful to you. It could be the opposite for you as it is for somebody else. But if you could really learn yourself and identify, where you'll be most efficient, and do that once or twice a week, create an environment that's helpful to you. Some people can't sit under fluorescent lights. And some people do need a workspace that makes them feel energized.
You're right. You're dead on that. And I think if I look back on it, I think COVID did play a big part in that aspect. It also played a big part in companies understanding what employees could work from home and be effective and what employees could not.
Exactly.
So for me, I can get done when I'm working from home, I can get done in 20 minutes what takes me 2 hours to do in the office. Just because I'm so focused, right?
Oh, yeah, because it's quiet, right? You're pretty much working solo from home. Like you don't have there's not two of you there and you don't have any animals that are bugging you or the doorbell ringing or that sort of thing. It's a little bit more quiet for you,
For me,
right?
it is absolutely. And
Yeah.
I also put on some light music and really, really low, right? So you can't, I mean, you can barely hear it. You can just, hear it. And sometimes, I like classic rock, but sometimes I'm throwing on classical and I'm throwing on, Bach and Stravinsky and things like that. Just people might call it elevator music. But to me, it just kind of sets a tone, almost subliminal.
Right. It sets a nice, friendly, peaceful state of mind for your unconscious mind so that you're happy. I think that's what music makes you happy. I know that about you. So
As a musician, it better, right?
some
It's
people have to,
funny. I actually
yeah.
have a work playlist of songs,
Oh, you
and
do?
and
Okay.
I start out with some upbeat stuff, and then it comes down to kind of more serious and things like that, and then I thought if I'm following the Pomodoro, 25 30 minutes later, I have some upbeat music going again. So I kind of build a set list or a playlist built along with how I know I'm working.
You're even time blocking your music. I love it. Talk about organizational skills.
Well,
That,
we know that I'm a very what's the best word to use? I don't want to use one word, so let's just say I'm analytical.
and you're thoughtful and intentional, I would have to say. Yeah.
I try my best for sure.
Yeah. So when you can't do it all, or you can't say no to everything, the key there is then to delegate some of your tasks. And people that are over accomplishers or very driven and like a dominating personality, they want to be the ones that do it all because then they feel better about themselves or they feel more rewarded and accomplished. But really, the key is to know who you can count on and delegate your tasks and ask somebody for help. so
You know,
that you
you
can
are
get the
s- you're
project done.
so you're so right. I I had in previous position I had an assistant manager. He I knew could get the job done just as well as I could, maybe even better in some cases. And I did delegate a lot to him, which allowed me to focus on the greater picture of what's happening and what's going on. And it worked well. And he knew it and I knew it. And as a cohesive team, it helped us build the business better. You and I are kind of on the same page. The only difference is both you and I are leaders. And so we don't, it's sometimes we get in each other's way because we're so used to being a leader and this is how it needs to get done. But then we got to also keep in mind that, well, there's more than just you and I here at stake.
That's right. So yeah, knowing which person to ask, of the task is also key in that component. So
Right.
yeah, you don't want to ask a leader or an equal to do a less meaningful task because then they could get insulted. But knowing like who to delegate and what to delegate to them, that would be more efficient for their pay scale and also their time and your own time.
It would be. The hard part comes when you're in a small organization and you only have a couple people. You just have to learn that sometimes you are going to lead and sometimes you're going to manage, or whatever the case might be. Um, you and I do great at balancing that, and I was just kind of using an example there that both of us are leaders, and sometimes we just have to take a step back and go, okay, we just got to get this done, so let's just roll up our sleeves and do it.
Right. I know. Then you're like, oh God, I could have done it a lot faster. So I'm just going to do it myself. I mean, that's typically, my mentality. But again, I have to be more mindful and learn how to delegate, um,
Yes.
which is kind of fun now because then it's kind of a teaching moment. So then I can enjoy the teaching of some of the task to somebody else on my team, which I love because I want them to learn and be successful. So I'm all about that at this juncture.
Yes, I bet I know you are. And so after you've done all of these things, right, then the next thing you really need to do is just kind of review your results, right?
Oh,
and
right.
make minor adjustments, however those adjustments need to be made.
Exactly. Like maybe waking up at 4 in the morning to get to the gym is wearing you out. And so maybe you need to wake up a little bit later and get to the gym at a little later time so you can get more rest. I think that's where we do come up short as we work so hard, we do so much in one day, and then we're just getting ourselves physically exhausted. So yeah, reassess, tweak it a little bit. Maybe instead of going to the gym every day, you go every 3 days or something, or every 2 days.
And maybe you
So you
wake up
may
at 5 instead of 4, right?
Yeah, you may have to tweak it along the way, right? Depending on your week.
Right.
Maybe one week you have a lesser workload and you can get to the gym more. But yeah, always regularly assess and review and make
It,
the adjustments.
it's funny. I used to get up at 4 o'clock every morning. Actually, I used to get up at 3 o'clock every morning, but at 4, and I would go to the gym. I joined a gym, and every morning I would get up and I would go to the gym. And I did this for about 6 months. And then uh, daylight savings time hit, and we had to set the clocks forward, and game was off. That was it. I was done.
Oh, really?
It
Is
just
it?
threw a whole wrench in my routine and everything.
Oh, how funny.
And
Yeah. It could have a lot to do with that. Yeah. Whether it's light out or it's still dark out, it's kind of confusing. I just had to adjust. We just did the daylight savings, right?
we did. Didn't we vote on nixing it and
Getting it
sending it?
gone. Yeah. Is it good way now? I'm not sure.
No, no, we voted on it, but they haven't done it yet. So
Oh,
I I don't know why we do it
I don't.
anymore.
I remember it was always such a huge event when I was a kid. I was like, whoa, wow.
Now
I
you're
get an
like,
extra
damn it,
hour.
or you
Yeah.
lose an hour. You got to
I
make it
know.
up somewhere. So
Yeah. More
there's,
time on.
yeah, exactly. Sorry. So, what are some of the things that we can do to overcome this?
So, there's so many things that we tend to do. I mean, there's like, you're so afraid of failure, so then you just don't do any of it, or you just don't do those key things that would, be productive. Some people the commission only field have to go door knocking. I mean, marketing and door knocking in person and talking to people and getting out there. I think there's a big fear of rejection that comes with that. And so then we just don't do it. And then we're not hitting the numbers that we wanted, right?
Sales is a numbers game, right? And so anybody who doesn't know that, sales is basically the more people you see, eventually you're going to get somebody that buys, right? And every sale is different percentage wise, but typically, in business, we teach you're typically only going to get 2 to 3% of the people that you meet are actually going to purchase your product or whatever it might be. So that means you got to knock on a lot of doors.
That's a low percentage. Yeah, exactly.
If you're a good salesperson and your techniques are well and you're friendly and stuff like that, that does pay a factor into that. But just in general, the average in sales is a low percentage.
Yeah.
So got to talk to a lot of people.
Yes, increase those numbers.
Yeah.
And
So
not procrastinate.
yes, right. So the thing that works for me, and even when I was working on this IDX stuff, or am working on this IDX stuff, it was so, as I dove into it, like, oh my God, this is a whole programming language in itself. It was so big. And then so I had to break it into chunks, right? And so now I'm learning this today. I'm learning that today. I'm learning this today. It's taken me a little bit longer, but it's going to be a lot better when it's all said and done. So, but
That's a great tip.
I had to
Break
break
it
it down in
into,
this month. Yeah.
and then you're time blocking those chunks, I'm assuming.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
Tuesday, you're working on this chunk, Wednesday's a different one. So that's
Yes.
all a great reminder, Barry. Yeah, break it down into chunks and different tasks in this way that you're not overwhelmed. I think we get overwhelmed by the idea and then we just don't do it at all. We put it off.
Right.
So, and then you realize after you did break it down and after you did put it into different time slots, oh my gosh, you're like, that was so easy. Why didn't I just do it, 3 months ago? That's usually what happens to me.
That's usually what happens. You're right. I'm like, oh man, why didn't I do this? I was so afraid. But eventually you get to that point where you have to do it, so you do it.
Or it was fun. Like you're like, oh gosh, that was even more fun than I thought.
Right, right. Well, so anyway, there's a lot of things to time management, and we're just skimming the surface here. But I mean, there are classes, college classes on time management, right? For me, I use technology. I use tools to help me. Like I mentioned to you, Evernote is one. There's Trello. There's a bunch of different products out there. Even today, CRM, which is customer relationship management software, they have calendars built into it, and they send out reminders to you to do certain tasks and stuff like that too.
Or they auto do it, right? It's an automatic
Yes,
generated task that's done for you.
right. That's the best, right? Because
That is the best. Then it's like you're cloned and you have somebody, working for you for free. Well, it's
well,
probably not for free because some of those
yeah,
things cost money.
they do. But the thing is so okay, you put a little bit of upfront time into this thing, you build the automation process the way you want it, you put in the content of what needs to be in there, and then you let it run wild with itself. And you just have to go back and visit it every once in a while.
That's right.
So
Yeah, so if you need any help with finding out what type of app or resource would be helpful to you in becoming more organized and time blocking your schedule, just reach out to us. We're here to help.
we are here to help. All right, well, that's a wrap for us.
That's a wrap, guys. Hope you
make
have a productive week.
Yes, make sure that you check us out on investquire.com is our website, and then of course the Biz Show is the Facebook page. But also I want to mention subscribe, right? Click the like buttons and stuff like that. We have thousands of listeners, but a very small group of people who actually have subscribed to it, and subscriptions do help. So, the more people that subscribe, the better the algorithm's going to get for us to be able to see and get out there to more people.
That's right. And our subscribers are climbing, so we want you to be part of that upward scale. So yes, definitely subscribe.
Yes, please. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.